Emoyeni bakithi kuyatshisa, emoyeni yethu kwengwanwami, soloze emoyeni bakithi kuyatshisa, singethi emoyeni yethu kwakubuhlungu, emoyeni bakithi kuyatshisa, emoyeni yethu kwengwanwami, soloze emoyeni bakithi kuyatshisa, singethi emoyeni yethu kwakubuhlungu, emoyeni bakithi kuyatshisa, emoyeni
Either we go into the South African monetary system where we resort to the rand currency. Alternatively, when we really have a stable Zimbabwean dollar, which is going to have the discipline of being printed according to the monetary policies of all the other countries. The bond, I'm sure that is going to be a temporary thing. I'm sure that the new so-called dispensation is one of the issues which is going to be tabled, and will come up with some form of monetary policy which is going to strengthen the economy of the country, and we can't do it using the current bond that we are printing. These are things that I'm sure are going to be resolved.
If I could just take a moment to...
The Center for Innovation and Technology is offering you a golden opportunity to speak directly to your market at an affordable price. We also offer media training workshops, live streaming, documentary production, and events management. Get in touch with us today on the following numbers: +263 867 711 0290 or 0718 100 235. Don't forget to subscribe to our social media platforms. Like our Facebook page, Center for Innovation and Technology. Follow us on Twitter @SiteZW. And you can also check out our website, www.site.org.zw.
Emoyeni bakithi kuyatshisa, emoyeni yethu kwengwanwami, soloze emoyeni bakithi kuyatshisa, singethi emoyeni yethu kwakubuhlungu, emoyeni.
We are gathered here today because of the death of the president of ZAPU, Dr. Dumiso Dabengwa. We have a few details about how he passed away.
It is with a deep sense of sorrow that the Dumiso Dabengwa Foundation has learned of the passing on of our patron, Dr. Dumiso Dabengwa. As previously indicated in our last press statement regarding his health, he had traveled to India to seek medical treatment. Unfortunately, the doctors in India were not able to assist him. He thus left from India for home yesterday. This morning, at a stopover in Nairobi, before catching a connecting flight to South Africa, he unfortunately passed on. He was in the company of his wife, Umama Makumalo Uzotwa Dabengwa. We have lost Dr. Dabengwa, a great son of the soil, who sacrificed his entire life for the independence of this, our great nation of Zimbabwe. We have lost a man of the people, a mentor. Indeed, we have lost a father figure.
The Zimbabwe and Southern African liberation icon, Dr. Dumiso Dabengwa, has taken rest from the struggle that has spanned all his life since 1939. The ZAPU president passed on today after equally long and strenuous struggle against illness since November 2018. The icon struggle for Zimbabwe and South Africa giant takes ball as we continue to search for the ever elusive and evasive trophy of an independent, free, fair, and democratic country, democratic nation. ZAPU joins the nation and indeed the continent in mourning the struggle stalwart. We, however, take console in knowing that he leaves behind seeds of freedom, peaceful coexistence, and national development that will germinate in all of us as we follow his footsteps. We send our deepest condolences to Mama Makumalo, children, grandchildren. We are gratefully they shared a father with us as ZAPU.
The ZAPU family and the TT Foundation share the illustrious leadership of Dabengwa and the irreplaceable guidance that he provided. So our loss as two organizations, of course, is shared by Zimbabweans, and I'm sure all of you will know that this is going to be a watershed development, and that from here, this country will never be the same again.
We are the surviving victims. What is expected of us? Let bygones be bygones, I suppose. It is very difficult for me to speak, as I say. This documentary is merely the tip of an iceberg. The over 20,000 people that perished in this genocide their souls, wherever they are, still look upon us and expect us first to have the whole truth told about what happened, and secondly, to have all those wrongs corrected. It's a mammoth task. The NPRC, whilst I wish to respect their mandate given by the Constitution to do what they are supposed to do, I doubt if they will be able to accomplish only the aspect that relates to this genocide within the next 10 years. And most of us will be gone by that time. So I do agree with you, Reverend Motsi. The truth must be told in order for the generations who did not see all this
and the generations to come to know exactly what happened and to be able to put closure to this whole episode. It's not easy. Thank you.
Ngakutsho ngopresident wami wezapho kuqalele emuva phambilini engakabi ngopresident wami wezapho engobe ngucommander wami kumbutho wezipra khona kodwa khona lokho kuyatsho ukuthi mina laye sibe posta saba ngumuntu munye ubaba lo mntwana umbubhuti lo mna wakhe for a very long time. Kunengi engikufundileyo ngibukela ngikhatshana la ngase ngisondele phansi kwakhe. Kunengi esengikwazi engangakwazi ngikuzwe ngaye okunye ngikubone kwenza ngaleso sizathu umuntu engimazisise umazi kakhulu ngokuba ngumazithulela kodwa esenza okuningi ngaleso sizathu kuya ngithuma ukuthi ngitsho ukuthi lamanye amagama okusoma esasimnika wona sithumelani umazithulela umanyenyeza wonke lamagama ayesuka sibe siwathola ekwenzeni kwakhe la ngendlela ukuthi mhlawumbe mayehamba lapha ubungambona ngale ndlela wena kanti akayisiyo leyo ndlela. Ngumdala obe kade engathandi izinto ezobumenemene ililifa elinye lokuqala engithanda ukuthi ngiliveze angichiyele lona into lobumenemene phakathi vele kazange ayifune lo manini kungabe maybe spring from a military point of view from the political activities is somebody was always looking for a straightforward thing and he was not even a man who could tolerate izinto ezinjengama excuses. He was a man of results. All he always demanded from you as his subordinate or his lieutenant were all results. Ama excuses was never a man of excuses. Weta ngakutaska into I expect from you to be lama results, not excuses. Although umuntu obekhuluma kabuthakathaka bekudinga ukuthi umfundisi umbone ukuthi lapha sengimzondisile lokho engikwenzileyo sokumkhulu bekudinga ukuthi uzihlole kakhulu wena. Hence kithi thina kakhulu mina bekungazima ukusebenza la ngoba phosa uzalwa kwami emulini engizalwa khona lokondliwa kwami nisondliwa kuZaphu khulela kuZipra bekuyinto nje efanayo. Isibongo lebizo bekulinye ukuthi umuntu kumele uthembeke, kumele ube umuntu lwana othunywa ukwenze ngokuqondelela ngokuthembeka. So ngatsho nje ngale amafitshane ukuthi sonakalile abantu bakithi yonakalile eZimbabwe emulini yeZaphu. Ngifisa ukuthi ngubeke sobala ukuthi ngibeke kahle nje ukuthi oluba kukhona into ebuhlungu engenzakala kithi esikhathini esizayo kuzaba nzima ukuthi siqathanisela lokho ngoba manje engikufundayo ukuthi thina njengemuli yeZaphu eZipra esiyikho khona kathesi sifana lentandane yedonki olungayiqathanisa lentandane yenkomo ukulithole kwenkomo kufelwe ngonina. Kuyazakala ukuthi nxa sokufuna amanzi kuyahamba eminyango kitchen lapha bakuthelela amanzi ebhavini kunathe ebhavini eminyango kitchen. Isizathu salokho ukuthi kungaze kufe kudliwa inyama. Okuyintandane kwedonki kuthiwa kuthayeni kuyela sifuleni lokho kuzazibonela khona lamanzi. Mabantoda ebusika ngo-October isifule esilamanzi ngo-October isiphi. For a simple reason kungafaka kudliwa. Yiko kuthiwa kuxotshani kuyele. Now ngifunda mina isimo sethu untandane bethu silobo ukuthi sizintandane zedonke kakathesi ngoba kuzathiwa kuxotsheni kuyele kuhambe ngabantu beZaphu siye ngaphi siyawanatha ngapha amanzi ebusika umthombothi yolo namhlanje oqhubelekileyo besinatha la so kubuhlungu abantu bakithi siphatheke kakubi. Kuyatholakala ekuphileni yebo kambe uNkulunkulu wawo wesiphile wasemuka kanti ke kuvele kukhona ngitsho la kulabo abangasondela enkundleni yezombutho esibuthweni abantu abake babona into ezinjengama-bombardments, abantu abake bangena kuma-ambush, abantu abake bangena kuma-contacts, uyaphila no matter that troop or that army is how strong or how capable they are in fighting. But ungatshaya ucommander, there is a scenario that takes pieces there and there. Kuhle khonapho isakwenzakala khonapho. Ucommander angatshaya. You go into a state of confusion or something. And then you rework later. This is where we are now. Mangukhangela mina. Ezingqondweni sesithe. Kodwa silethemba lokuthi sizabuya sireworke. Command usetshayiwe. That state of shock eba khona ukuphithizela lokungani asisakwazi ukuthi kumele kwenzakaleni. But hopefully by the next hour siza regroupa, reworka, siqhubekele phambili ngomsebenzi asishiyele wona.
Mina ubaba uDabengwa, I got to be very close to him in the last 2 years. It's funny, it's around this time of May of 2017 where I was doing legacy management in South Africa. Somebody says to me, but what are you doing in legacy yabantu bakini eZimbabwe? Then we decided, no, let's come back home and try and look at the legacy Eyama liberation fighters, our Zimbabwe. And at the time there was no better person that was ideal for us to preserve his legacy Owedlula Ubaba Dabengwa. This is because he's one of the pioneer freedom fighters of the country. He's been involved in the shaping of this country at different stages. Because he joined the struggle in 1959 as a youth. I think at that time he was just a 20-year-old. From there, YMP, right up to the Lancaster House conference, we came to independence. He was the setting up of the army that we have now. He was the integration of the army. And the third chapter of the Kukurahundi genocide, he was there. And I've always said it is the first victim of Kukurahundi with Lookout Masuti was arrested. Uspaki Kukurahundi arms cache. He was there. At the signing of the intercourt, though he was reluctant, he has always and not been ambiguous about it. He was not happy about the intercourt. He had to be convinced to join Izanu via the intercourt. He was there. First as a deputy minister of Home Affairs and then later as a minister of Home Affairs. So, and then from there he was in government up to around about 2000 thereabout. And then 2008 he was not happy with the course the country was taking. He pulled out of ZANU-PF. And the amazing thing is that when he pulls out, he was tipped for vice presidency and he still walked away. So we felt that this is a man whose legacy must be preserved because he has been consistent right from the liberation struggle up to the end. Some people might say him joining ZAPO was a bad move, but it was not a bad move because one of the outstanding features of Ubaba Dabengwa is consistency and being a man of principle. Ubaba Dabengwa will never compromise. He will never lie. So when he felt that ZANU-PF was not doing the right thing, the best thing for him to do was to leave. They tried to bring him back via different incentives like Obama vice president, but still he felt ZANU-PF was ZANU-PF. So we then came down around about April, May 2017 to talk to him about setting up a foundation. What pains me the most is that Ubaba Dabengwa initially had said he doesn't really mind who set up a foundation. One thing that was in his heart was to write his memoirs. And I said to him, no, but let's first set up the foundation. Says Palama memoirs under the banner of the foundation. He says to me, Tulisi, a lot of people have come to me, one thing or the other. I've given up because one tempis and they don't do. If you are really serious, set up the foundation, and that's how then we set up the foundation. And the other thing that I must say, Ubaba Dabengwa was approachable. Because when I approached him, great as he was, I didn't have struggle. Like we see was in the to my secretary or PA appointments and what. I just called him and arranged to meet him, and that was it. And that's how the foundation was birthed. And then from May to around about November, we were discussing with the family and relevant stakeholders on how to set up the foundation and what the key things about the foundation should be. So that's how we developed a relationship with Babu Dabengwa. So over time, I began to be close to him. I could tell Uti we've established a very good rapport, because there's a lot of things that we talk about. But to me, one of the things that was outstanding about Dabengwa is his aspect of sacrifice. Babu Dabengwa sacrificed more or less everything. I sacrifice and give to the country as a person. He sacrificed his own person, sacrificed his own family. He sacrificed everything that any man could sacrifice. The second thing that you would stand up about Babu Dabengwa to me is his humility. Babu Dabengwa was a humble soul, very humble. You would not know how great a man he is, and he would not insist on it. There's a story I always share with. One time he had a minor accident. I came to my police and just to report. The officers did not know him until one person said to him, are you related to Dabengwa, the former cabinet minister? He didn't say it's me. What you know, he didn't insist to because of who he is. He was down to earth. Anyone would walk into his office, have an appointment like a kulum. That thing Babu Dabengwa that I can say about him was a passionate man. If there is anything that he did with his all. He was not umuntu wama half. Umuntu that was very passionate. He was passionate about a number of things. One, was passionate about the Matebeleni Zambezi water project. I remember one time he says to me, as an afterthought in just what I wonder because when he died, Joshua Nkomo said to him, ungabuyi to the land of the dead, ungachiyanga abantu beMatebeleni belamanzi. And it's said to put Aman's looking echo, but we hope the water project corner is azama to do their best to preserve the Kaskaba Bambuleta Manzamatebeleni. He was passionate about the politics of the country. He was passionate about democracy. He was passionate about the people of Matebeleni. I remember Babu Dabengwa would always make sure that people come first. He will sacrifice himself for the people. I remember one time I said to him, Babu Dabengwa, you must retire from ZAP so that you preserve your legacy and keep it intact. Because if you contest elections and lose, you will go out of the stage of politics as an opposition candidate who lost an election. And he said, as a matter of principle, I cannot leave abantu ngaphuma lawo ngaqala labo izaphu mbachiye endleleni. I would do things accordingly. Ngibachiye at Congress and retire at Congress. And that was him. He didn't believe he can leave people midway. And even he said, cool, I said, Mtala, I think resign so that uhlale ekhaya and recover. He insisted, according to principle, I must resign and retire at Congress. So that's the kind of a person that Babu Dabengwa was. In terms of his other passions, I find it amazing that he lost so much to the struggle and still remains so humble. One thing that touched me cool is that he said to me he lost his mother during the war, and the death of his mother has been something very dear to him, simply because umama ke wathathwa ngamakhiwa bedinga yena uBabu Dabengwa bambophela esihlahleni, and I'm told about 12 or so soldiers fired at his mother, wafa, and he lost the mother and didn't get the opportunity to come and bury mama. But you never hear him talking about these things. You'd never. Ngumuntu nje obe nga break about his losses, because some people have held the country ransom as a result of what they lost to the struggle, or what they serviced to the altar of democracy and independence with. Babu Dabengwa was not that kind of a man. And even now, as a humble, I asked him clearly, Baba, in the event that you don't come back, or in the event that you're incapacitated, what are some of the things that you want us to, as a foundation, to do or to know or to say to people? He said to me, Mtulisi, foundation must make sure that legacy, the history, ZAPU, ZIPRA, is corrected and preserved. And for interest sake, I asked him, Dala, what if Banga could declare a hero? What should we do? And I for one, did not believe that the government am declared to be a hero. But he believed firmly and strongly that if they are sober, they will declare him to be a hero. and he was clear about what he wants done. In terms of him, he said he doesn't want to be buried Heroes Acre. He wants to be buried next to Mamaki, the same mother as it was Mamaki, and didn't get a chance to bury her. So that was Ubabu Dabengwa. He felt if he's declared a hero, we must accept as a foundation, we must throw our weight in support of that declaration, but it should not be interpreted as acceptance yokuthi ahambe bekwa Heroes Acre. One time I said to him jokingly, Mdala, what do you think we should do ngabusay different government? Would you want us to keep unkomo Heroes Acre? Simfa kwenye indawo oskipha abangasoma hero Heroes Acre kusala ama hero. He believed ukuthi umuntu wonke kumele angcwatshwe kibo, but he felt the essence of Heroes Acre has been lost because there are people that deserved abangekhoyo. One of those people, Chikerema, he felt Chikerema should have been declared a hero. And I remember one time he told Umgabe Lomsika at the time when he passed on Chikerema that he should have been declared a hero, but government insisted that is not. He didn't believe that hero status should be given on a partisan basis. He believed that hero status must be given based on our contributions omuntu individually without the tag of being a member or not a member of ZANU-PF. Another thing that Ubabu Dabengwa was passionate about was the issue of Ikokuraund. In my last meeting with him, official meeting, Sasise, South Africa, after we'd attended the conference in Konto Esizwe, we were discussing a lot of different topics and subjects. And he just says from now, I know what Imatebelen collective is handling issue Kukuraund for closure. He says, make sure there is no closure to Kukuraund. Even after it's solved, it should not be a closed topic. Your children and their children must learn there is people that were killed by government simply because they supported ZAPU, simply because they were in Devolution. He said it must never ever be closed. We should talk about it. We should write books about it. We should do events and programming around the issue of Kukuraund. And he has always said that he has forgiven these people. However, he has not forgotten. And that was his message. It has always been his message. The sad thing that saddens me is because I was one of the people that were an advocate to say, Umnangagwa should be one of the people that are in the forefront to apologize to Dr. Dumiso Dabengwa over Kukuraund. But unfortunately and sadly, our government has refused to acknowledge Kukuraund. He has refused to issue an apology. And I believe that apology would have done well for Ubabu Dabengwa. He is one person who felt that the government of the day has wronged them. Actually, one time he would speak of how Onkala, Labo Mnanga could go to him and force him to and ask him to join ZANU-PF so that he is free. I think around 1983. I remember one time Umnanga says, if you buy this, if you get this card, you can be free in a matter of hours. But as a matter of principle, Ubabu Dabengwa stood with Joshua Nkomo, stood according to principle. He did not betray the struggle, did not betray his comrades. So there's a lot that we can say about Ubabu Dabengwa, but in a nutshell, I believe that was Ubabu Dabengwa for me.
I did say that being involved, and still involved to an extent on the political scene. And one of the things that we have been suggesting is the devolved system of governance. 2013 Constitution does talk about that devolved system of governance. Even the current incumbent president did make mention in his inauguration, during his inauguration speech, on the need for that. From our point of view, we've always looked at it as the best way to run a country, where you get everybody having an opportunity to participate in the development and in the destiny of their region. We You're right to say that we are rich. We're very poor but very rich. The resources, God-given resources that are here, you can mention them, the sky is the limit. And you look at what's happening to them. The people in the region will say, Slamalashe, gold and that sort of thing. But who decides on what happens to those resources? It's somebody sitting in central government who is thinking of what he will get out of it himself. And you get projects like that which don't move at all. And the best way of getting people to participate is to have them involved in the ownership of that development. And what you are suggesting would certainly have a good lead. You mentioned the guys who have bought an RZ. We met them the other day, you remember, and like a joke, saying, was coming to settle in Bulawayo, opening our headquarters in Bulawayo, make a fact visit. Would like to invite you to come and open for the launching of our project. And it's happening right here in Bulawayo. Looking at it, and this has been the heart of the railways since it started functioning during Road's time. Bulawayo has always been the hub of the railways. And we hear and we get people who have come up with ideas and able to take and run these railways at our doorstep. So, for me, it is really very important that we do consider setting ourselves up. Yes, the provincial people are going to set up their mini legislatures, provincial legislatures, to decide on things. This goes along to actually complement whatever ideas they might be producing in those smaller legislatures. This is why I've said I think it's coming at the right time. Gives us an opportunity to start thinking, getting to realize how our people can actually contribute. I do agree that the biggest hurdle that we must be able to decide on is really make sure that whatever investments people make are very secure. And I think we should open up to such an extent that we should be able to capture those 3 million people from a development who are in the diaspora. Even if they are investing $1 shares a month, they should be encouraged to do that and feel that they are actually participating and contributing to the development in their region. The idea is brilliant, and a few people I've talked to who come from this region have been very excited about the idea. But as I say, the main thing would be to have our chartered accountants come up with formulas on how best their investments can be secured. I'll stop with that for now. At one time, we visited
together with the then governor of the Reserve Bank, Gideon Gono, some of the Gulf states, Egypt was one, and we had people who were trusted to assist in the funding of that project. Then we had the Malaysians coming in, very promising indeed. But at the end of the day, the Malaysian company that we're involved in required bank guarantees for over $1 billion. And Zimbabwe said, we can't afford that sort of. Even the Reserve Bank, with all its money, cannot be able to give you a guarantee of over $1 billion. And those were the impediments getting the water. Only in 2004, when the Malaysians had decided to, stop working with us on the project. In 2004, the president himself, Mugabe then, called me and said, Dumiso, you're wasting your time. Going with a bowl in your hand and asking for funding for that project. I said, President, what should we do? This is a cabinet decision that we should look for funding. He says, but you don't need to look for funding. You've got all the funds that you require in that region. The coal around Wanke, Lupane, right up to Binga. And the coal-based methane gas. Simple, tell the minister responsible for water, for mines, to give you a concession to mine the coal and the methane gas. Then look for investors who will come in on a joint venture with you and undertake that project with them. I'm sure that from your equity revenue that you'll be getting, you should easily be able to pay for that project. Then that's where the problem started. We left everything that we had been looking for and concentrated on this very brilliant proposition by the head of state, where we did not need to go begging government for funding. But all that we required was the minister's consent to say, there is a concession for coal and coal-based methane gas. Bring in your investors. Let's go ahead. Mitzi was the minister responsible for mining at the time. And Mitzi had been involved at one time with us when myself, the late John Como, who was vice president at the time, and the CEO visited the States, and Mitzi facilitated our visit there to go to a company named Owens Calling to look at how they manufacture very strong piping, and yet very simple and cheap to manufacture. So he was then minister, and when I said, Minister, this is what the president has said, Mitzi said, wonderful. Look, let's not base ourselves on what the president has said. He is there today, he's not there tomorrow. Let's get this thing properly done. You people put up an application to the mining board and they will look at your application. I'll do everything possible to expedite it. In actual fact, at that time, he said they should be sitting within 3 months from now. So do your application quickly with all the coordinates for your coal and the methane gas deposits that you want. We ran back and did that, submitted it. Mitzi promised it would certainly be done in not more than 3 months. But unfortunately, before the end of that 3 months, there was a reshuffle in government. Mitzi was moved from mines, and this place was taken over by Obet Mpofu. At that time, we were elated. Obet Mpofu, we said, homeboy, the project is now in your hands. Mitzi started the ball rolling, and all you need to do is facilitate it so that we can get started on it. Obet promised everything. Actually exhorted the CEO to frequent his office so that he could push that application for the concession to come through quickly, until he was reshuffled out of that ministry almost 10 years after, I think, more than 10 years after. Not even a phone call or a one sentence letter to say, no, we will not give you that concession. That's where things stopped. That's where the buck stopped. Our investors who we had talked to had already done 80% studies on both the coal and the coal-bed methane gas in the area that we had applied for. But unfortunately, it expired. The exploration permits expired. And they said, look, we're not there. But if the trust can be awarded that concession, we'll work with the trust to make sure that that project works out. We already have investors who will be coming from the Gulf states. Investors, a consortium of investors who are going to use that coal they mine from that area to build another thermal power stations in the